When we left off, I was just pointing out that even though different languages like German and Latin and English can seem really different from one another, they're actually not all that different. So even though the order of the words that come out of different speakers' mouths might be different, underneath in this invisible structure, the relationships between these little forking branches are the same. They've just been like flipped one way or the other. So take a sentence like the girl saw the boy with binoculars, render that in Latin. Really, all you're doing is just flipping this big chunk of the tree here from left and right, and that's all there is to it. And if you know maybe some other languages like Spanish, for example, you realize, oh yeah, I kind of already knew this. So if I say a sentence like "give the blue ball and doggy to Rosie," that's how I would say it in English. You know, if you know any Spanish, oh yeah, in Spanish, the words come out pretty much just like English. They're just pronounced a little differently. And generally, though, the adjectives come after the nouns in Spanish. So instead of saying give the blue ball, I just say give the ball blue or give la bola azul, right? So you can see, oh yeah, that's just because the only difference between English and Spanish is just bloop bloop bloop. I'm just swiveling around that little triangle on the mobile of our sentence. There's nothing really like that drastic going on in the invisible structure that we're changing. And so, what you see is that what's unique to humans is that when we encounter sounds or signs in our environment, we impose this invisible hierarchical structure, these little tree structures, on those sentences, even though those words are coming at us just one after the other in a line, in sequence. We impose this whole big additional structure that has all of these little tree things in it. And you can see why that makes us different from animals who can communicate with us using symbols, but they don't seem to be using those symbols quite the way that we do. And in particular, they're not using these tree structures to put together those symbols. So take as an example the same sentence, give the blue ball and doggy to Rosie. Well, we know that we can switch blue and ball from English to Spanish, but if you speak a language like Latin or German again, you can put the verb at the end as well. You just take this whole big thing and you just flip it from left to right, so the give comes from the end and goes to the beginning, and the to Rosie bit comes from the end and goes to the beginning. So you get something like to Rosie, ball blue and doggy give. Now that sounds really weird to us as English speakers because, well, yeah, the rule that we learned when we learned English was, no, when you have a structure like this, you put this bit of the structure at the end and this bit of the structure at the beginning. But what's really interesting is that one thing you can observe is you can switch this stuff around any way you like. Spin this little mobile at any one of these corners, and you can switch around ball and blue and ball, or switch around the to Rosie and the give. But no matter how you switch that stuff around, you're never going to be able to like put the doggy in between ball and blue. You're never going to be able to take the and put it after the doggy or before ball and blue. This whole little chunk right here, ball, blue, and doggy, that's all going to stay the same no matter how you spin this stuff around, which helps to explain why no matter what language you speak, if I give you a sentence like, give the blue ball and the doggy to Rosie, well, gosh darn it, you know that the blue ball and doggy, that all goes together. You can't break that apart. Whatever happens to the blue ball, well, that's happening to the doggy as well. They're a chunk, and you just can't break that chunk up. Now, what's interesting is that when you try and teach sentences like this to Kanzi, the bonobo here, give the ball and the doggy to Rosie, Kanzi just doesn't seem to get that the blue ball and doggy all has to come together as a big chunk. So when you tell Kanzi, give the ball and the doggy to Rosie,